Hey everybody, welcome to another Blast from the Past action figure review, G.I. Joe Classified Edition. Today we're going to be looking at the Target exclusive Cobra Island Cobra Viper. And this is from the second wave, I believe, or the last of the first wave. I can't honestly remember what the wave designations were for these figures. It was the last released in 2021, though, I think. Or the 2020. Yeah. I'm not good with dates. So don't count on me to have that accurate. In any case, this Target exclusive, it's Cobra Island. And this figure, along with Major Blood and the Cobra Trooper, were among the hardest to get from the Target Cobra Island wave, and it caused a lot of issues with collectors because, well, I mean, the main issue, obviously, during the time period was the pandemic, because distribution was all screwed up all over the world for everything, not just toys, so. But it was hard for collectors to get these, and scalpers really feasted. If you were a scalper and happened to go into a Target and see an entire crate of these things on the shelf, they usually just bought them all and sold them on eBay. And the prices were quite high, upwards of like $150, $200 at the peak. They've gone down quite a bit since then, but they're still a lot more than you would pay for an individual figure. Like the figures are going for like about $25 or 25 pounds now. And the Cobra Viper is still selling on eBay for like 40, 50 pounds. So it's still up there. You probably have a better chance of getting the Viper 3-pack, which comes with an officer and 2 Vipers. It's basically the same as this figure, but with slight differences in coloration. And the officer obviously is completely recolored, but the 2 Vipers it comes with are a little lighter blue than this one. This figure remains like pretty sought after because a lot of people like the darker blues as opposed to the 3-pack's lighter colors. So if you can get your hands on it, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I wouldn't pay too much for it, but if you can find one for like 30 or 35, that might be a reasonable price to go for. It's up to you. I got mine around 30, 35 back in 2 years ago because I wasn't collecting right when they came out, so I missed out on the first order, the first pre-orders. But I've got it now, so I'm happy. As you can see from the box, it's the Cobra Island design, which we've seen numerous times already. They got the Firebat and the Terradrome in the background there. Cobra Viper picture. This one's number 22 in the line. There's all the file card information for him. Cobra symbol 22, window on the top. More images, artwork on the side. More Cobra Island images and artwork on the back. Legalese. And let's see. I think we've seen both of the close-ups in this one. Yeah, that looks like the airfield, and that one down there is like a dam and a hydroelectric plant or something, maybe. So nothing really new with this box. The figure is really, really good looking. It's pretty close to the original. As you can see, it has these forearm gauntlets, which the original did not have. The original had bare skin there instead. I think the reason they did this is so you could imagine the Viper to be... They were probably even when this one was released, they were probably thinking about diversifying the line. I mean, G.I. Joe is already one of the more diverse toy lines out there, even back in the 80s. But they were thinking about diversifying the soldiers even more, because obviously the soldiers weren't all that diverse, not in the early days. The original Cobra Vipers, since I said they had the bare arms, they were all white because their skin was white. Now you can see the neck is colored white, but he comes with an accessory you can put over that where you can't see it all, so you could still easily imagine him as any race you wanted if you wanted to do that. And the 3-pack Vipers comes with one white skin Viper, one white skin blue Viper, and one black skin blue Viper, and the officer, who's I think always white skinned. They did have a problem with the 3-pack, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. You can remove the gauntlets if you want to get a more accurate original look. They are glued on there, but if you apply enough heat, it'll loosen the glue so you can slide them off. I haven't bothered doing that. I rather like the forearm guards. I'm not one that feels the need to have an exact 6-inch replica of the old 3 3/4-inch figures. As you can see, the face mask is painted like a chrome silver, which looks pretty good. I can't remember if the original was vac metal or not. It's been a long time since I've seen an original Viper. The Destro and Cobra Commander mask were vac metal, I believe, back in the day, but I can't remember if they did the same for the Viper. There's some good color on the helmet. This being a exclusive figure means that they were able to do like more paint apps with it, because Target gave them extra money to make this an exclusive figure for Target, so they were able to take that money and put a little bit more into the figure. So you can see he's got the reds on the sides of the mask there and some gray in the back there. And then his vest has a lot of reds on it. His grenades are red, a lot of red straps and red Cobra emblems. We got red on the gauntlets there. He's got red on the outside of the pants, red on the inside of the pants. He's got some nice detailing on the boots. Nice details around the belt, although not very much paint there, just on the belt buckle. So he's got those 2 overlays. This is all one piece. This what looks like a belt. It is a belt actually, but it's attached to the vest. So it's all just one piece. And you can remove it if you pop the arms and the head. It'll slide right off of there. And his other overlay is the holster here, which you can slide off of his leg if you want. These don't really count as overlaid because they're glued on. But like I said, if you apply enough heat, you can loosen the glue enough that you can just pop the hands off and then slide them off. So if that is what you want to do. For articulation, you can look down about that far. Can't look back. The back of the vest here kind of hinders neck articulation. Well, actually not so much. There's still a little space between the back of the head and the vest, so clearly something else is hindering his neck articulation, probably just the peg. He's got a little bit of tilt, not too much. You can get the Exorcist spin going. Arms goes all the way around. You can get the 90-degree T-pose. He's got that bicep cut there. He's got double-jointed pinned arms. 22 in the series, but they still haven't gotten rid of the pins yet. We're getting there. As you can see from some of the newer figures I've shown you, they're definitely pinless. He's got the horizontal peg on the wrist for the right arm, the right hand, I should say. And for the left, it's up, down. But these wrists are very stiff. I don't know if the gauntlet's getting in the way or is just really stiff. Can't get a lot out of that. You can twist. You can do the chubby checker. Twist again, like we did last summer. And he probably has an ab crunch in there, but they usually only gave the diaphragm cuts to the female figures at this point in the line. You can get about that much bend forward out of it because of the vest. And about that much back, so not a lot. Not a lot of range of motion on the torso due to the vest overlay. He's got the drop down hips, as usual. You can do the Van Damme splits. Thigh cut. Double jointed pinned legs. Pinned knees. His foot hinges back that far. Can go forward that far. Rocker. Peg holes at the bottom. For his accessories, like I mentioned, he's got this scarf all in a hard grade plastic. And you can just slide that around his neck. Yeah. You kind of got to pull it apart a little bit to get in there. And of course it wants to be difficult just so because the camera is on. And see, the way the scarf was molded, it was molded to fit like right around the vest in that manner. So it looks like it's laying naturally, which is kind of cool. And as you can see, it completely covers his neck. So if you didn't want this to be a white guy, just throw the scarf on him and he can be whatever you want him to be. And you can't see any skin tone, so. He also comes with these goggles, which the original figure also had, but they were molded onto the helmet. Now these are a real pain in the ass, I'll tell you that right now. They don't like to fit on the helmet very easily. And I've heard stories of people who forced them too much and the strap just broke. I've not had that happen on any of my Vipers, but it's still, yeah, I was waiting for it to just snap right then when I had the camera on it. After saying that I'd never had a problem, I was just waiting for it just to be like, okay, you're gonna have a problem now. But yeah, for the most part, I just sit him on his head. And if you don't move him around, they won't move either. They'll just kind of sit there. So this is one of those things where I know they want to make it look like they're giving him more accessories and making him more dynamic or whatever, but this is one of those things that really would have been better if they had just molded it in, because honestly it serves no purpose to have it loose, because you can't put them over his eyes. The strap will definitely break if you try to force it over the whole mask, and even if you popped his head and brought it up from the bottom, it wouldn't look that great. And further, he's already got a mask. Why does he need to put goggles over his mask? I understand the goggles are probably there in case his mask gets compromised or damaged, so he can take his helmet off and put the goggles on. But he doesn't come with an alternate head, so what's the purpose of that? So they should have just molded those onto the helmet. It would have been so much better. But once you get them to sit reasonably, or sit okay, then I mean, they'll stay on. They're not going to fall off or anything. But it's just a pain to get them to sit like that in the first place, you know. He also comes with a backpack, which is pretty cool. It's got the gray paint on the rope, got blue paint around here, and then the red Cobra emblem in the middle, and then 4 more red grenades, just like the ones he's got on his chest. So he's really got a lot of explosives. And he's got some buckles, he's got zips. You know, he can stick a shaving kit in there. He can put his cell phone charger over here. Some extra ammo in there, maybe. And that pegs into his back, like so. Yeah, his harness fell down a little bit. Or his backpack, not his backpack, his vest. He also comes with a sidearm. And this is a gun similar that we've seen in other figures in the line. It's not based on anything in reality, but it's not as bad as the Nerf rifles we've seen. And that'll slide into his holster here. And then lastly, he comes with this rifle. And this is one of the more futuristic types of guns, but it actually has a peg. I think, now I didn't have all the figures from number 1 or 00 if you count Snake Eyes until now, so I can't remember if this is the first gun that has an actual peg for blast effects. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I think the gun that came with the Cobra Trooper did too, and that same gun also came with. Well, it came with the Cobra Infantry. We haven't gotten to him yet, but yeah, I think I don't think this is the first gun with a peg hole for blast effects. Yeah, the Cobra Trooper had one, and Baroness. I think Destro's pistol actually had one too. So yeah, scratch that. I don't know what I'm talking about. This gun, as far as the futuristic looking Nerf guns go, this is probably the best one. But I still would have preferred him to have come with the gun similar to the one the original figure came with. This gun actually is the first, I think, that comes with a removable clip, though. I don't think any of the previous guns came with this removable clip. So now we're getting into the more functional figures of the classified line. Now they've got removable clips and whatnot. So again, if you can get a Cobra Island Cobra Viper for a reasonable price, I would go for it, because it's a pretty cool figure. But it's probably you'll probably have a better time or easier time getting the Viper 3-pack, and you might decide it's a better deal because you get 3, and I think they're pretty reasonable price these days because they're trying to clearance them out since they're an older figure set. So you could probably get the Viper 3-pack for, like, if you say this guy's about $30 minimum, you could probably get a Viper 3-pack, which each figure costing between $15 and $20 each. You know, so like $45 to $60, you could probably get a Viper 3-pack. You might even be able to get one cheaper than that, so who knows. It might be a better, if you don't mind the lighter blues, you probably better off getting the Viper 3-pack. You'll get more bang for your buck that way. But overall, pretty decent figure. Definitely a must-have for a G.I. Joe fan. The Viper is an iconic troop builder for the line. Probably one of the most recognizable, next to the Crimson Guards and the Bats and the standard troopers. Just a little ahead maybe of the Snow Serpent and the Eels. But tell me what you think down below. Comment, like, and subscribe. I haven't decided what my next video is going to be yet. It'll release on Tuesday, but I don't know what the subject's going to be, so I guess it'll just have to be a surprise. And of course, there'll be another video on Friday, and then another Blast from the Past on Sunday. I think we're done with Cobra Island for now. We do have more Cobra Island to get to eventually, but this is the last one for the time being. So next Sunday we'll be looking at the Zartan. So one of the all-time greats and the leader of the Dreadnoks will be next week's Blast from the Past. So until then, I will see you next time.